Quests are one of the biggest decisions in Hearthstone Battlegrounds in Season 11. Today we're going to break down how to pick the right quest every time. Since this game is with Sire Daenerys, we're going to start with him and see what makes him unique, and then we're going to zoom out into the general system that you can use for really any hero that you're going to be playing. So what makes Sire a little bit different is he gets two quests. He gets one decision on turn 1, and then like every other hero, he gets to pick a quest on turn 3. To balance this out, he generally has a little bit higher requirements, especially on that first quest, and this is even magnified because he has a little bit less armor than most of the other heroes in the game. Generally, what you're going to want to look for in terms of quest rewards is going to be exactly the same as all the other quests, so we're going to hit that a little bit later. But really what you want to do is try to pair up your two quests so they're a little bit more synergistic. Something like a complementary quest where, in this game for example, we have summon minions and minions dying. These pair perfectly together, especially in token lobbies like Beast or Undead. You're able to feed both quests with the same board. You can also look for some type of like synergistic rewards. So something like 2x battle cries and 2x tavern spells makes it so if you have like a brand on the board, you're going to be able to generate a lot of value through the game. Also, you're going to want to make sure that the tribes kind of make sense with that. But really a lot of it is kind of just like doing your sequencing correctly. I generally try to complete whatever the faster quest is first, even if my like turn 1 quest ends up being harder. Sometimes your turn 3 quest can actually be done before your turn 1, and you just kind of want to play into that one a little bit as well. Finally, just try to do some type of balance between tempo and greed. Daenerys does need his quest to win him the game. He is, dependent on the two quests, but generally you'll probably do best having one of your quests being a more win conditioning and one being a more tempo variation. So generally my real just kind of checklist is, do the requirements overlap, do the rewards stack, can I finish the quest, and does the lobby support the quest? What you're going to notice is that kind of mindset is going to be applied to every other hero as well. So even outside of Daenerys, your hero choice matters. Higher armor heroes generally have easier quest requirements, meaning you're going to be able to get that spike sooner. What you can kind of do as a mindset for this is a higher armor hero, your quest reward now becomes your hero power. You're going to play into that a lot more than your actual hero power, and you'll see right now if you look at HS replay stats that higher armor heroes will tend to be dominating this season. And you should also be paying attention to patch notes whenever they change heroes around. Even if it's just 2 to 3 armor, that's going to be really big for how much of a difference that makes for how easy it is to complete the quest. Again, 20 armor isn't bad. Even though the hero power itself might be bad, someone like Sneeds is going to be able to finish that quest a lot earlier, and that quest essentially becomes his hero power. Now, when you get your turn 3 and you're making I guess it's turn 4, but when you're actually making that decision on which quest you want to do, I generally have about 3 questions that I kind of work through in my head before making the decision. I find generally HS replay stats around the quest are not the most helpful. They might point out the quests that absolutely do nothing for you, but I don't think they're the best way to determine whether you should pick a quest or not. The first question I ask myself is, how fast can I complete it? Really, any quest that doesn't finish until turn 8, I don't play ever. This is generally going to be a lot of the add cards to hand type quest, or play certain number of spells. These generally are very hard to complete, and even if they are a great reward, they take too long. Generally, I try to finish quests within 1 to 2 turns. There's a couple that you kind of have to finish, kind of like there's one right now that's the first minion you have gets to attack every turn. I forget what it's called, and it gets Divine Shield. That kind of one you almost have to finish the exact turn that you pick the quest, but the other ones generally shoot for that 1 to 2 turns. I'd say turn 8 at the very latest. The next question you should ask yourself is, does this actually do anything for me? Am I at least getting tempo from this? If you're playing tempo, you probably want to have a hero that actually has some type of value associated with it, because without that, you're probably only playing for a top 4. Other than that, you're kind of hoping that your quest has some type of value or scaling associated. Something like getting the 5 spells every turn is a mix between value and tempo all together. Finally, the last question you should ask is this a win condition? Generally, win conditions, I'm willing to go a little bit closer to that turn 8. I still don't like it, but it means that you have some type of payoff that can get you back in. Something like 2 times battle cries is going to allow you to get to that late game easily. Even if you fall behind and you were focusing on that quest and you're staying down on Tavern Tier 2 or 3 an extra turn or 2 compared to the rest of the lobby. Some other win condition rewards, the 2-time Death Rattle, as long as the lobby supports it, is going to be pretty good. Right now, Beasts aren't in the best place, so it's a little bit harder, but if Goldrin ever becomes a legitimate comp again, 2 times Death Rattle will be a win condition on its own. Something right now that's really been strong is 2 times Tavern spells, especially because there's a lot of spell buffing that you can kind of individually do, at least relative to the rest of the comps. So if you buff spells and then double the spells, you're effectively doubling those buffs that you've been doing. And then something like 2 times rallies. Right now, Rally Menagerie is one of the better performing comps, so that's another way to increase your scaling that way. That's also a comp that you can pretty much play in every lobby as like a safe option. Generally, that's kind of been my default the last couple of games. So 2 times rallies has been, you know, reasonable. Again, it's all dependent on you actually being able to finish the quest, but this gives you at least a like late game win condition. Something that kind of we were hitting on there is, does the lobby actually support the quest? Something like summoning, minion dying, or killing minions are much easier in token heavy lobbies like Beast or Undead. The slower lobbies that are like mechs, dragons, or whatever, those same quests are going to be a lot more painful to complete. So pay attention to the tribe pool before you commit. For those kind of lobbies, you might be going for the more value spell oriented type comps. Finally, the other thing is, does the lobby support the reward you're going? 2 times Battle Cry is amazing, especially if it's like an Elemental, Murloc, Pirates, one of those comps that requires a lot of value to get going. But if it's just like a Beast, Undead, Mech type lobby that doesn't have any Battle Cries, you're gonna really not get the payoff that you need for that to be an actual win condition for you. Generally, you want at least 2 of those tribes in so you can play flexibly. Depending on how weak the lobby is, you might only need 1. Right now, the strongest comps are going to be Undead, followed by probably Elementals and Pirates. I think right now those are kind of, after the current latest patch, those are kind of the current setup. But again, the meta's still in flux. So just kind of pay attention if the actual win condition is a win condition in your lobby. It's not just a generic win condition. So just trying to summarize a little bit, Daenerys, you're going to be looking for quests that work together. Other heroes rely on that armor advantage for fast completion. You want to kind of balance tempo and value and see if the lobby supports your reward. Really just try to think about checking off those boxes before you actually lock in your quest. Take your time. You have a lot of time on that turn, and in this you're going to have a lot easier time just turning your games into top 4s and turning those top 4s into actual wins. So thanks for watching. Drop a like if this helped. Please subscribe, share, whatever. And leave me in your comments what you're kind of looking for. I'm trying to get back into making the videos, so you know, let me know if this helps. Let me know what else I can do for y'all. Y'all have a good one. See ya. Bye.
Stop what's moving. I'm changing my life and I won't look back ever again.